Okay, one thing here is weeds are a big deal to these people, so we can't have any weeds. The problem is around this sign is we don't want to spray Roundup, because then the water comes on and it washes it into the grass and we've killed it. So just always make sure to take our weed eater, and we have to turn it on the side and get down in the cracks to get all the weeds out. This is a big deal around this sign. We can't let, they haven't been too happy with the service here, so all this stuff is kind of a big deal. So if there gets to be a lot of weeds, I'm going to put pre-emergent. I'm going to put pre-emergent in the rock and around the sign. So anytime if there starts to get a lot of weeds, let Hope know, and then we can put pre-emergent on again. This has such a little area of rock. I want to really keep the pre-emergent on so we don't get weeds. We can spray if we have to up there on the flat and around the sides and around the back. It's just this area. We just have to be careful too when we spray along here that we don't get it on the grass. We've killed the grass before. Also, another way is to take the weed eater on the edge and go in these cracks and get it out of the cracks. So we can use the weed eater a lot while we're here to clean up along the street and along these bricks. So I probably wouldn't use any Roundup around the sign, and probably no Roundup really out along the street either, because we've killed the grass by using Roundup here. If you want to use it in there, that's fine. Just be careful, don't walk on the grass after you get done. The other thing here is like today, we need to do a little better job on weed eating around the heads. We need to turn the water on. We don't want to weed eat them so low that it looks ugly, but we need to make sure that we're around each head that we're weed eating so that it pops up above the grass. Like today, the grass is blocking some of the sprinklers, so we need to watch that. Other things is we're wanting to get we're going to replace, put bottle brush. We want to get those as one hedge, and maybe not too high, just maybe about a foot above the concrete there, so about a foot onto those little white posts. All of these other bushes we want to keep the same height and keep them rounded, and keep the bolas clean. That means going in and cleaning them out, keeping the bottoms clean. So we want 2 bolas that are clean. So we're gonna have to watch that. And the bottle brush we can let grow together as a hedge. Lantanas, we don't want those to get too big. You can see on the grass here, some of it's growing out over the edge. So when we weed eat, we need to weed eat around the sprinkler heads. The other thing is I want to keep these ficus raised up really good. They're probably a little low. I'd like them up like 10 foot so they're never close to anybody's head. You can see the one on the other side is bumping the people's head, and this one isn't too far away. So keep these raised up good on the bottom. In the winter time, I want to go around and shape these good so we can go up on the roof here with the extension ladder, get up here, and then we can shape these really nice and tight. And we need to always keep them off the building, keep them off the roof. This hibiscus here, not too tall, maybe just like to the bottom of this. We can use a little bit of lopper just on the long ones. This timer here, valve 1 and 2 are the bubblers, 3 and 4 are the grass. We have the grass on program A. Program C is for the bubblers. Okay, this they like the flowers, but obviously we have to trim it sometimes because we want to keep this as a square hedge, and we can let this thing, probably doesn't need to get a lot taller. Just keep it level up there. We can use the pole pruner to get the long stragglers, or we can use the extended trimmer too with a ladder. Remember too to tuck it in down here when we trim so it's not down on the wall. Go along there kind of on an angle so we can get under there. We need to also blow that out. So trim this when it needs it. We don't want it to get too overpowering and fall over. So keep it a square hedge, keep it leveled on the top. Remember, you can just use the pole pruner to catch long ones. Keep this blown out underneath. One thing to remember is that our property, we can use the sprayer out here everywhere away from the grass. So like all this parking area, we need to keep free of weeds. Like we've got some weeds here. This area too, we need to keep cleaned out. These 2 pygmy palms, keep them trimmed on a medium trim. Okay, I'm going to go back here. This is our responsibility too on this other building. Okay, these are getting a little wild again. We need to always remember to keep these trimmed, especially on the top. Keep them inside the bricks, so I mean inside the concrete, and keep them level on the top, and keep them both the same height. So like right now they're getting too wild, they need to be trimmed. These have to look neat and manicured. Also weeds, we need to keep weeds sprayed over here. So there's actually, you can see here, these lantanas are getting overgrown again. We need to make sure not to ever cut that cable, so just hand clip around the cable, but we need to do a little better job of keeping these squared up. Same thing here, keep these shaped up. These look a lot nicer. This is more the idea. Remember to keep it away from that hose there. There's a water hose, we don't want to hit that with the trimmer. I wouldn't say to let them go much over the edge, so just keep these squared up too. The other thing is to remember that the weeds are our responsibility out here to the concrete, out to this back corner. So we need to always make sure to spray weeds here on the edges. And the deal is these guys just aren't too happy. We come here once a week, so there's really no reason why we can't. We're here so much that we got to keep this place looking good. Inside here's another area. They don't want big weeds coming in here, so keep this blown out, keep the weeds out of here. When we blow, try to blow on the fins to get the flowers off of those fins. Again, remember weeds around the poles. Okay, these bamboo, we're doing good, we're doing natural. These are the bamboo, we want to keep those natural. And the bamboo we can keep up. I want just a little height differential, so the bamboo, this little bottom part of the window, keep it to the top, and the Orange Jubilee keep down to the bottom, so they're not all the same. So I want the Orange Jubilee just a little shorter. The rest of this just natural trim when it needs it. Natural trim the asparagus ferns, the foxtail ferns, the asparagus ferns. Those we can just natural trim when they need it, keep the dead cleaned out. We don't want to let those asparagus ferns get too big. The other thing in here is weeds get established. So we need to keep the weeds out of here as well. Okay, this ficus here is too low. We need to keep it raised up. And again, try to keep the Nandina just a little bit taller than the Orange Jubilee. So the Orange Jubilee, we use the hedge trimmer and square them. So keep those all square and keep them all the same height. And the bamboo, we do natural with lopper and let those get a little taller. These little pittosporum we can use the hedge trimmer on, but the asparagus fern and the foxtail fern I want to use lopper. So those two use lopper. These we can use trimmer, Orange Jubilee trimmer, the bamboo lopper. And this ficus here, keep it raised up more, it's too low. And we need to keep the tops too. I don't want the tops to get out of control. Again, out here, remember that the weeds are our responsibility all around the edge, out to the edge of the street. And this grass is very important in this sign in here. This is a big deal. Try to make sure to do our lines straight, or if we do them on an angle, yeah, straight's good, but when we're done, don't run the mower right across our lines. So make nice lines, and when we're done, take the mower on the sidewalk. Oh, we need to always blow off that front area here too. Blow that off good. And again, remember there's 6 of these wax leaf privets. We want those all the same height with 2 nice bolas. We need to always pay attention to the trunk. Like this one right here, it's getting a little fat on the left. We need it to grow out there a little better. Okay, and then oh, there's one timer over on the other side here too, and that timer is for the these bushes on this side, so we need to keep that adjusted. If you'll notice, I have this timer and that timer. When the bushes come on, I have them at a little different time because they both pull off the water for the building. So I just have those a little bit separate on the time, so they don't, so the 2 different clocks don't come on at the same time. So okay, I think that should conclude it here.